Oh yeah, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good. Right now, kind of enjoying the off season, staying in shape, just getting ready for next season. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. And how was that season for you in terms of growth, in terms of just knowing a lot more things than you probably did in your rookie season?
Yeah, I mean, going in that year too, it helps a lot. It's better now that you have that 1 year rookie year under your belt. You can go into year two, you kind of know what to expect. Kind of know how the game is played. So I think it was definitely a big, kind of year for me to kind of realize like what I'm getting myself into, how things are done around, just the organization and everything. But I would say it was pretty good, not a bad year at all.
The combine and pro day and all those type of things, we're in the thick of it now for a lot of these younger players that are just now coming out of college. Take me back to your experience and your time with pro day and the combine and things like that. How was that experience for you? How was that process like?
Right. So, obviously around the combine and pro day time, it's pretty stressful time for the players. But, my year was actually the COVID year. So we didn't have they canceled the combine. So all we had was our pro days. So most of our guys, we just they had their pro days at their schools, and that was it. There was no combine, and which I've heard other people say, it's kind of a good thing because they say that the combine is like just super stressful. You're doing stuff like the whole time you're there, and then you got to perform in front of everybody. All the scouts, all the GMs, everybody that's there. So maybe it could have been a good thing, that we didn't have to go to the combine, but definitely a different year, especially with COVID and all that stuff going on. So it was different, but I definitely it's a I guess an opportunity that a lot of people would kill to have. So it was definitely a great opportunity to be a part of.
Piggybacking off of that, with the combine, a lot of players kind of come out and say, "Oh, the combine doesn't really show what a guy is capable of playing." So they should probably incorporate a lot more skill work and things like that. But they just test like athleticism and explosiveness, things like that. So what are your thoughts on that whole deal?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of agree with that. I mean, obviously the combine it tests certain things. Obviously, I think the 40 for speed. I mean, I think that's a pretty good test for it. But I think what people are trying to say with that is like you can have great numbers at the combine, but that doesn't mean that translate also into the football field. So, I mean, I like what they do with the combine and things like that, but I think there are better ways. I mean, obviously the best way is watching the guy's film, knowing if he can play ball or not. I think that's the biggest thing that you should take notes on, if anything. But the combine is just a few extra things to see, like how athletic a guy might be or things like that. But I think the true tell is the tape. The tape doesn't lie.
Moving on to your draft day. Obviously, that was the COVID one, right? So it was all remote, all through like Zoom or whatever.
Right. Right.
um, I know kind of took away at least a little bit from the experience, but how was that moment? Just getting drafted, being with your family, and just celebrating that moment, man.
Oh man, it was awesome. Like I said, that's a moment that I've dreamed of since I was a kid. So I mean, just like a bunch of other guys. I mean, the moment just sitting there waiting for your name to be called on the TV to figure out like who you're going to be playing for. I mean, it's a moment that was like obviously I'll remember forever for the rest of my life, and I will always appreciate and never take granted of.
Um, what was the biggest adjustment from you going to from college to the NFL? And in your case, is really interesting because you went from a high profile offense, high tempo offense, spread it out to offense in Baltimore to where it's more run heavy. You're going to see 2, 3 tight ends, 2, 3 running backs, fullbacks, all those things. So for you, how was that kind of transition going from one playbook to another?
For sure. I think the big thing, especially from college, at least for us from college going to the NFL, the playbook is like just the terminology in itself is just a whole nother language. Like you got to start over and learn the language, learn the whole playbook all over again. And the NFL playbook is serious. Like it ain't nothing light. So. But I think that was the biggest transition was getting used to the terminology, getting used to how things are run in the NFL and not, how they're probably in college a little bit more simplified. So I think that was the biggest adjustment.
I was going back to one of your older interviews when you first got in the league, and you mentioned how you try to put the book down sometimes because you're always studying it, always looking at it, and stuff like that.
Right.
How did you find a balance between learning and trying to get better and kind of just chilling out and let everything take care of itself?
Right. So especially the hard part, especially your rookie year, because I mean you're trying to prove everybody what you can do. You know what I mean? So you catch yourself like, oh, you're studying like 24/7. Like I gotta get this playbook down. Like you don't want to go out there messing up plays in front of everybody. So and I feel like got so into myself where I was studying so much, I'm not even retaining information. You know what I mean? Like I'm just over here looking at plays and I don't even know what I'm looking at because I've been looking at it for so long. So I think it's important to take, basically get in there, study, know what you're doing, but also, don't overdo it to where, you're kind of just looking at it and you don't even know what you're looking at.
For you specifically, like as a receiver, what was the biggest adjustment from college to the pros?
So, yeah, I mean, the biggest difference, is I think the speed of the game. I feel like everybody says that, but until you actually go out there and experience it, it's like it's on a whole different level. Like everybody says, yeah, everybody's fast, but it's like it's different when you're out there. You hear like obviously everybody's fast, but when you're out there and you got like linebackers running 4.4s and 4.3s, and it's like insane. It's crazy. So I really think like that's the true big adjustment is how fast everybody is on the field. Like everybody's fast.
Did that take a while for you to adjust, or did you kind of like anticipate that as you're coming in?
Like so I think you anticipate it a little bit, but until you actually get out there and are doing it is when you're like, oh, okay, like this is what they're talking about. This is what they're saying. So, I think it probably took just a little bit to get used to that. You know what I mean? Like everything is quick, super fast, and just because everybody else is fast on the field. So I think it took a little time to adjust to it, but obviously that going into it.
Now, going back to your time at Oklahoma State for a little bit, played under Coach Gundy, great offensive mind. How was the recruiting process like with him, with you and your brothers? Was that like a package deal? Because I know y'all played same high school and everything. He got injured, of course, but was that a package deal for y'all to go to Oklahoma State, or like how did that work out?
Yeah, so it basically kind of was in a way. So coming out, I think by the time we committed to Oklahoma State when we were sophomores. So we kind of knew, like after taking a visit out there and talking to the coaches and everybody, we knew that's where we wanted to be. So we committed when we were sophomores, and even through all the things after that year, my brother tore his ACL his junior and senior year, and they still respected the scholarship. So that was a huge deal for us, for them to be like, no, we still believe in you. We still believe like in the player you are. So that meant everything to us. So we both knew that's where we wanted to be. So we committed and never looked back.
Yes, sir. And to wrap this thing up, leave a quick message for future NFL draftees for this upcoming draft.
Definitely. Man, I would just say, be ready to, if you really want to be great, man, all you gotta do is put in the work. Obviously you made it this far. You obviously know what it's like for hard work and dedication, but just when you get to the league, just keep going. Don't stop there. You can always keep getting better, keep being, the great, whatever position you want to play, great receiver, running back, whatever it is, you know what I mean? You can always be better, and just keep going, keep working, and you can be as great as you want to be if you put the work in.
And stay focused, guys.
Yes, gotta stay focused for a fact.
Please. Because there are a lot of distractions that can come with the limelight, the fame, and all these people knowing you and things like that, right?
So many, man. There's always going to be distractions. Like even now with obviously guys getting paid in college now, they probably got more than there ever has been now. But yes, all that stuff, man, you definitely got to stay focused because with all that, being on TV, everybody's seeing you and making all the money. There's going to be a bunch of people trying to reach out to you and asking for who knows what. So you got to make sure to stay locked in and remember you're here for a reason, and to keep showing everybody why you're here.